my opinion, Hurricane Ida was a blessing in disguise for the Saints.
Packers fans are idiots.
George Kittle loves to get yards, especially after the catch.
Welcome back to Certified Beef. We are back to talk the Super Bowl commercials, halftime show, and then also go over our bets. Just getting into it, Brandon, I don't know about you, but that might be, in my memory, that is probably the best Super Bowl I've ever watched in total in my life.
Definitely one of the best in recent memories. It stems from having two very even teams. It was fun to watch the Kelsey Bowl. Too bad Donna Kelsey did not get to flip the coin. That would have been pretty entertaining to see. But yeah, Eagles-Chiefs, very, very good game.
Yeah, I feel like this game had like everything you want in a Super Bowl. You have one team get up, play like a lot better than the first team in the first half, play to what their strengths are, controlling the ball. I mean, the Eagles looked like the better team in the first half. They got into a lead, but then you always see it always seems to happen in the Super Bowl. You have this underdog team, the team that people don't really feel like is going to win this game. I mean, you look at it with all the announcers and stuff before the game on Fox. They all picked the Eagles to win. Like it didn't seem like anyone really had faith in the Chiefs. But that second half by the Chiefs, one of the greatest halves we've ever seen in the Super Bowl history, from defense to offense. I mean, they had something. They turned a switch in halftime and it worked because obviously they came out on top, but I mean, they made the Eagles look stupid for that entire second half.
I think, in all reality, Patrick Mahomes really just pulled a Paul Pierce. That's all it was. NFL is scripted. He wasn't really hurt.
Yeah, I mean, I like with anything, you probably tweaked an ankle before. We've all tweaked an ankle. It hurts for about 10 minutes. I know that. I don't know if I'm pretty sure it was the one that's already hurt, but he was already getting so much extensive treatment on it that it probably was feeling pretty good before the game. So a little tweak, he probably got shot up at halftime. So I think people are blowing that out of the water. The fact that he just was all fine. Like, it's not like he extensively rolled up on it again. Like, it just got a little tweak. When you have a sprained ankle and it tweaks a little bit, shit's going to fucking hurt because it might set you back a little bit. But I mean, he was playing just fine. He was moving around just fine. But I mean, everyone, was struggling. That field, God, was that fucking awful.
Can't believe that. They grew that for 2 years and it cost $800,000 and that was the final product.
There's no way that you can put that shit back in the stadium for next year.
Oh, no.
There's no way. It was so bad. And people were talking about the painted areas. No, it was the entire field that was atrocious.
Painted areas were worse, but yes, it was.
Well, yeah, they always are, but it was just. I mean, the thing is that's not an excuse for either team. Like the Eagles were saying after the game, they're like they both had to play on it. Mm-hmm. But just I know this might be not gonna say it because it's happened before, but I think Jalen Hurts should have probably won the MVP of this game. It's only happened once before in Super Bowl history, but I think it should have happened a second time. I think Jalen Hurts should have won the MVP of this game. He played his absolute ass off. Outside of that fumble, I don't think he played almost perfect. He made every throw. He was running all over that defense. I mean, putting up over 370 yards of total offense, 3 rushing touchdowns, throwing a passing touchdown. I mean, Jalen Hurts played impeccable. One of the best performances we've seen in Super Bowl history. And I mean, it sucks that they didn't come out to win because he was the best player on the field. And I think he definitely had a case for Super Bowl MVP, even though he lost.
I don't know. I still think that Super Bowl MVP's got to go to someone on the winning team. It doesn't make sense that someone would get it on the losing side and then have to come back out with the winning team to accept the award. That's kind of weird.
I mean, yeah, that's a good point. I'm not saying if he were to win the award, you think he's actually going to go accept it with the Chiefs?
I mean, why wouldn't he? I feel like that's something that you gotta broadcast.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. But just going back to the game, do you think I obviously today got hired. But do you think Jonathan Gannon should have lost like a head coaching opportunity because of how bad of a like scheme they played throughout that entire game?
Not really, because their defense has been very good all year. I mean, I'm assuming lots of offensive coordinators or defensive coordinators would have lost their jobs if it was based off of one bad game or one bad half. So, no, he should not have. He should not have lost his head coaching opportunity because of the Super Bowl.
Also, why the fuck would the Eagles bring in Vic Fangio after all the season of their success? For like, do you hear that? They brought him in to like coach up the team for the last like 2 weeks in the preparation for the Super Bowl.
Because
like you've been good all year. Why would you want to switch it up?
Because he's known for his defense. He's a trusted name in defense in the NFL, and they might want just an outside voice saying like, "Oh, okay, if I was facing you, maybe this is like what I'd pick apart or something like that."
Yeah, I don't know. If I literally watching that Super Bowl, I felt like I was watching Ed Donatel and the Eagles were the Vikings defense. It was so hard to watch them just fucking do nothing, sit back in coverage, get no pressure on the quarterback. I felt like I was just watching the Vikings. It was depressing, but it was the Eagles playing, so it made it a lot better. But it was bad. Your Super Bowl MVP, Brian, was nowhere to be found the entire game.
No, he wasn't.
He was awful. He was horrible.
He got in there a couple times, but
whatever that guy's name is,
got feasted on.
Like Andrew Wiley or the right tackle Wiley, he made him look like his fucking son.
Yeah.
Fucking
sometimes when they would run stunts, he would get in there, but it was far and few between. Few and far.
Obviously like the Chiefs gave up no sacks, which is
that's very impressive.
Like they were like the Eagles' offensive line was talked about to be the best in that. I honestly think the Chiefs' offensive line played better than them in this game.
Well, yeah, I know nobody got an actual sack though. The only sack that was recorded was Mr. Bowling out of bounds. Yeah, Mr. Bowling Ball chasing after Jalen Hurts.
Mr. Bowling Ball.
That's what my roommate called him. Bowling Ball.
Wow. Yeah, no. But the Chiefs, that offensive line, they were definitely the ones that weren't talked about all weeks leading up to the Super Bowl. People thought they were just going to be like, I feel like they were some people were comparing it to what was happened against Tampa Bay, that the Eagles were going to be in Patrick Mahomes' face. And the thing is like with the Eagles, it's like you notice that the pass rush isn't doing much. Like they didn't even dial up. I feel like they didn't dial up blitzes the entire game to like even make Patrick Mahomes move off his spot. And I mean, Patrick Mahomes had all day to throw. When you give someone like that all day to throw, I mean, they're going to fucking pick you apart. I mean, there's like 15 quarterbacks that can do that in the NFL. I know that sounds stupid, but I'm saying there's a ton of quarterbacks. If you give them time, they're going to pick you apart. And yeah, the Eagles, they definitely showed rookie and like young coaching tendencies by just having no sense of like adjustments after halftime or even mid second half. It felt like they just kept rolling out with their same scheme the entire time. It was bad.
But then again, you've been doing what works all year. Like I think they're like it's still a rookie coaching mistake, but maybe they're hoping that it comes back to you because they were playing super well in the first half, and then all of a sudden it just fell.
Yeah,
apart.
I'm not saying they weren't. I mean, one big thing though. I mean, I did mention his name once, but Nick Bolton. Oh my, he was all over the place, and in the run game, that Eagles offense was fucking. Besides Jalen Hurts, like minimalistic. They weren't breaking off runs. The Chiefs' rush offense was 10 times better than the Eagles' rush offense was, and that's just something that you wouldn't see. And I feel like that's something that, not that Jalen Hurts played incredible having to pass the ball that much, but I feel like for the Eagles to have won this game, I feel like they still had to have their identity to have one or two drives where they just run it down their throats, but they just never had that. They weren't, and I mean, yes, they did sustain control of the ball, but to an extent, like they didn't beat the Chiefs up on defense like they normally do. They were throwing it over the top, and a couple of big plays here was kind of the reason why they were able to move the ball, but they didn't move the ball like they were normally doing by running the ball, setting up the play action. But it was mainly Jalen Hurts, and Jalen Hurts proved that he is here to stay and one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL.
Yeah, what happened to Miles Sanders? I didn't hear too much out of him this game. I feel like I heard a lot more of Kenneth Gainwell than Miles Sanders.
I mean, maybe they were just going with the hot hand, but like I said, that the Chiefs found something in film preparation to be able to not exploit the run offense, because their run offense is amazing, but they found something that was able to like stop it enough to where it made a big impact. And I mean, in the second half, when you're up 10 points, you gotta be able to. I mean, obviously the Chiefs went down the field right away and scored to start the second half, and that's kind of the big reason. But even then, they went up 27-21. Yeah, like that. But like you still got to be able to run the ball, and they just weren't. And I felt like they were definitely out of rhythm in the second half. The Eagles were on. I mean, that's because they were out of their philosophy. Their philosophy is to run the ball, and the Chiefs defense played probably the best second half out of a defense, and probably this playoffs. Honestly, like can't really think of anyone that had a better second half than them.
I thought for a moment there that Nick Bolton was going to get the Super Bowl MVP if that second fumble stood on the little dump off to.
He very well could have won it anyways, because obviously Patrick Mahomes was very impactful, but I felt like Nick Bolton was that good in this game too, to where he definitely had a case. Like if Patrick Mahomes doesn't win it for the Chiefs, I honestly think he should have, because I think he was their second best player. Obviously, Kelsey played great. I mean, I'm surprised how little he was a part of the offense, especially in the second half. But that's because the receivers were getting open too. Philly's pass defense was atrocious. I mean, we've talked about it. I mean, I mentioned it last week when they played zone. They're like the 22nd worst pass defense when it comes to or 22nd best or whatever. Either way, you know what I'm saying. When it comes to pass coverage, and I mean, they sat back in zone so much, and they just let it happen. Juju played a great second half. I mean, obviously we'll get into it. I don't know if you just want to talk about it now, Brian, but that holding call really upset me in that time, because even though I wanted the Eagles to lose, I felt like that was a regular season call and should not be called in the playoffs.
Yes, I feel like the officiating crew was actually very solid throughout. It was mostly the like pre-snap penalties that were being called, and those are kind of like whatever. But yeah, like when the game's on the line, you gotta let the players fight it out, allow hand fighting, allow a little bit of holding and stuff like that. So yeah, that kind of pissed me off, because even if the Chiefs do kick a field goal there, the Eagles still have a chance to go down and at least tie it. If not,
yeah, I mean, they just took a great Super Bowl and made it a kind of a shitty ending. Like that Super Bowl needed to end in an electrifying game tying drive to bring it to overtime, or a game winning drive by the Eagles. Like it needed to end in a walk off fashion, kind of, and I mean it did, but not in the way we wanted it to.
No.
The problem is with that, it was so ticky tack, and they didn't call penalties all game. Like they called like 0 penalties all game, and then they call one there, and it's just like, I mean, you got to be. I mean, what? Go ahead.
By the book, it is a holding call, but I think you got.
I don't think it was that. I mean, yes, he tugged the jersey, but like he fucking it was like almost like he grazed it, and his finger caught his fingertip caught onto it, and it pulled it. It wasn't even like. You saw the clip of it. It barely looked like he even grabbed it. And honestly, I don't even think it impeded Juju at all from moving. Like it looked like Juju was able to move through it just fine.
No, and also I think uncatchable needs to be put into holding, because there was no way Juju was going to catch that ball anyways. That was way too far out.
No fucking chance. There's no chance. No.
So that was more of why I was mad. Like if Juju had like a legitimate shot to get to it, then it's more like whatever. But since it
Well,
was
that and
so far over his head that it was
yeah,
like, come on, man, put it in your pocket.
that and if he like fell down, like I could see if he falls down, you call that shit. But he literally, they were fucking hand fighting, and he grabs a little bit of the jersey, and I don't know. It made me mad because I didn't want, like, the officiating has been so bad. Even though Roger Goodell said this week it's the best it's ever been,
That's
which
crazy.
I don't know how he even had the audacity and just just even the whereabouts to even say that when it's people have been complaining about it all year. I mean, they called a great game, and then just to have it happen, it just like it came full circle. Like,
Yeah.
they've been so bad all year, and you just knew it was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you just knew that they were going to make it was like a ticking time bomb waiting to happen. You knew that they were going to make a crucial call in the game that was going to impact the game.
Yeah.
But I mean, in the end, I got to watch. It was fun to like listen to shit of Eagles fans just suffering, because this might be like one of their last. Like, they might go to shit. That's how bad of a situation they're in. They have so many free agents. They're negative cap. Probably gonna have Jason Kelsey's probably gonna retire. I mean, they're gonna have to pay Jalen Hurts like this, and this team. I don't know. It might have been their last chance at winning a Super Bowl for a very long time, because they are in a bad situation. But I mean, the one stat though is finally broken, with having a quarterback making over 12.5 million or 12.5% of your salary cap. I can't remember how much Mahomes is making of the salary cap, but he's making over that. But it just proves how fucking great of a quarterback he is, to where your team is built to, like, is such a young team and have so many rookies. I mean, it also just shows how good of coaching staff they have, but they don't have the greatest. They don't have that great of a roster. There's probably like 5 other teams that you could probably say has a better roster than the Chiefs. But when you have a guy like Patrick Mahomes, it doesn't matter. And those coaches, they get the best out of their players. I mean, it's just you can't. It's like you can't count out the Chiefs anymore. And I mean, there were some people that did. Odds makers really didn't, because they were still like top 4 in odds to win the Super Bowl to start the year. So I mean, just in any way, like, their team is gonna suffer a little bit through his contract, but I mean, when you got Patrick Mahomes, it's like you can't fucking doubt them. Like, they're gonna be in the big games all the time.
I still think it's crazy though that they're favored to repeat over any other team. Like, that always gets me in, like, when like new odds come out for the next year, that always the team that wins it is usually the team that's on top of the odds. And sometimes like there's just better teams out there than the guys that won it.
Yeah, I feel like for sports like baseball, I mean, that makes sense. Hockey though, like that should never happen. Football really should never happen, because I feel like there's always a team that like they didn't peak at the right time. Because like there's teams like, I thought the Bengals were a better team. The Eagles are a better team, like built wise. Like, they just played bad. The Bills are probably all around a better team than the Chiefs. I mean, there's a lot of teams out there that are probably better all around the Chiefs, but yeah, it just Patrick Mahomes. I honestly think, Brandon, if he were to retire today, I think he'd be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Probably.
Because he's only the 4th quarterback ever to win 2 MVPs and 2 Super Bowls, that's just crazy. That's he's only the 4th to ever do that. But I mean, it's kind of a crazy stat.
And if he did, he's retiring in the right time where everybody just absolutely loves him. So there's no way he wouldn't be a first ballot.
Yeah. No,
especially if Tony Romo is voting.
Exactly. True. But I mean, just the amount of stuff that like some records that were broken, like the first MVP to ever win the Super Bowl, first passing yards leader to win the Super Bowl. I mean, first team to win the coin toss and win the Super Bowl in 9 years. I mean, so many things happened that it just a crazy Super Bowl. I mean, it was great all the way up until the finish. I mean, honestly, yeah, like I said, I wish it would have ended in a better way, but it was definitely one of the best Super Bowls I've ever watched.
We could have got a killer ending if Jerick McKinnon just walked into the end zone.
Yeah, I mean, there was. We could have, but I mean, he made the right decision in
Oh
that
yeah, for
time.
sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, now to fill the void of during the game, during plays, commercials, Brandon. I mean, this year, I honestly think that they made a rebound. I know that they weren't great, but I feel like they took a step forward again, and there were some funny ones, and I just felt like they got out of like the political stuff. A lot of most of it did, because I feel like that was something that, and like just stuff like that, like woke and shit.
Oh,
I feel like
but
that was.
when you're watching on Iowa like public television or whatever, you'll get some just random Iowa commercials. So I was getting like
Oh yeah,
grocery store
because
commercials, and
no,
I
yeah,
got a politician commercial. That was pretty funny.
yeah, yeah. I mean, they give time. I didn't know that, but I forgot that they give time to like the local news stations to run some ads, and it was weird because they just like blip in, and you're like, that's an interesting Super Bowl commercial, and then you realize that it's local television, and you're like,
yeah,
oh, I see. Because there was this one in Minnesota. It was so fucking weird. It was a real estate, and he was like making a rap, or it wasn't a real estate. It was a law business, and he was making a rap, and it was just very cringy.
I'll
But yeah,
send you guys the political ad that popped up after we're done,
okay,
because that's pretty weird. But yeah,
okay.
I liked the. I got a list on here of the ones I liked. I'll read them off to you, and then you say your thoughts on them. Does that work?
Yeah, because I mean, there's some duds in there, and I mean, if anything, I'll mention some that I remember. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot. I thought there was a pretty solid amount of good ones.
Yeah, I do agree that they did make a rebound. There wasn't a lot of like laugh out loud funny ones, but they
No,
were
I
more
mean,
entertaining.
yeah, I was laughing just because, yeah, I mean, out of sorts. But yeah, that's why I was laughing out loud. But I agree, there wasn't really like a bunch of like laugh out loud, like you said, just like haha
First,
chuckles.
yeah, first one that stood out to me was the NFL Sunday Ticket announcement that's going to YouTube TV. I kind of like that they used Keyboard Cat because that was a classic thing back in the day. It was even featured on a Super Bowl, I'm pretty sure. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah, that one I was like confused. Like I understand where they were going with it, but I was just like,
Yeah.
I felt like it was so unnecessary. Like it was just like cool. But I mean, I feel like there's a lot of people that have got like stepped out of the Super Bowl ads. So I mean, the NFL had to fill in for themselves, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe. Well, I mean,
Next
yeah.
one.
At least they brought in like a meme or whatever, like you said, to make it good.
Nostalgia. Yep. Next
Yeah.
one. Adam and Eve, naked avocados from Mexico.
That one was one of my favorites.
That
I
one
thought that was
funny.
I thought that one was so funny. I was just like, where is this going? And then I realized I was just like, because the avocados from Mexico is always funny. I know the jingle is just funny, like avocados from Mexico.
They always have good ones. Like they had the animal draft a couple of years ago. That one was a solid commercial. Next one, the Chevrolet electric vehicles with Will Ferrell.
No, that was good.
The
I like that
partnership
one
with Netflix. That was.
Yeah.
I like that he's going through all the movie tropes and stuff like that. That was pretty great.
The Stranger Things part was by far the best part of that one, though.
Yeah,
it was funny. Yeah.
Next one, you might find this one stupid, but I like the Trojan horse one where it was like the cybersecurity, and the Trojan horse just gets pushed off the cliff or whatever because the lady's reading off her iPad saying that it's not safe.
I don't even remember that one.
It was decent, like it wasn't top tier, but I still found it kind of funny. I really like the NFL flag football commercial this year. That was sick.
Oh, the one where like the lead up, what is it when they were doing that, like the lead up or whatever, where they're like, see it at halftime when they were doing the housekeeping, and like the one where she was running away from everyone.
Yeah,
what you're talking about.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a great commercial.
That was
because
up there.
I didn't even know that the Jalen Ramsey and Sauce Gardner part was a preview part of it too. I didn't know that. I only knew of the housekeeping one.
I
didn't even. But
that
it
was
good.
Great though. The probably the most controversial one, or not one of the Tubi ads, the Easter Bunny or whatever. That thing was freaking terrifying.
Oh, I remember you were texting us about that, or we were talking about that, and I just like missed it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I barely even saw it.
That thing was terrifying. How they're just carrying people over their shoulder and dropping them into giant holes in the ground, and like they were oddly a little too human, like kind of uncanny valley type of deal. There.
Yeah.
Do you think the Kick of Destiny was live? Because there was no way that it was actually live.
No. Also, I'm pretty sure it went through. It looked like it went through to me.
It was. There was. I mean, there was. I don't know. There's no way there
It was
that
not
much
live.
wind there.
It was not live.
Yeah.
Dude, there's a lot of shit about the Super Bowl that's not live. Apparently, I mean, I thought it was pretty fucking obvious. But apparently they say that the Lift Every Voice and Sing, she was not singing. They pre-record that. Her lips weren't even matching up. They also say that the national anthem is
Just lip sync.
like pre-recorded, but I could tell Chris Stapleton was singing. He was not lip syncing, but she was. She was 100% lip syncing. You could tell.
Time?
Like there was, yes, it was. You could see it at one point that her lips didn't even like. They were so delayed from the. They weren't matching with the song, at one point. But that I'm just saying like that. No, I agree. The Gronk thing, that was so not. It was so bad and not like. It didn't even look real. It looked fake.
It was unnecessary.
Like I thought it was gonna be like I mean I don't know about you. I thought it was actually gonna be on the field.
Yeah, that would make a lot more sense.
That's what I thought, and I'm like, okay. And then they just showed it. They showed him in the middle of nowhere. It's like he was in the desert, and they're just
he was
like
kicking like a 20-yarder.
Yeah, well, that's how far it was supposed to be. But I'm like, what the fuck is going? I thought I'm not kidding. I thought that's what it was supposed to be. So I was so lost and so confused. And I mean, it went in, and they're like, it's no good, and I'm like. What?
Yeah, I don't know. Next awful. One. I didn't get what the entire plot or premise was because I haven't seen the show, but the Breaking Bad Popcorners one.
That was so funny.
Even though
that was hilarious.
It was pretty great.
I've never seen Breaking Bad. That was one of the funniest commercials because the funniest shit about it was, I mean, the fact that they were just comparing popcorners to meth.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's like like Aaron Paul or whatever. He was like, oh my God. This is so freaking like it was like he was like reacting like if it was meth. Like I mean that's what was so funny about it. And he's like,
"Yeah,
we've got something here." And that was honestly the one I laughed at the most. I thought it was hilarious.
We've already talked about this next one, the Disney 100.
That was solid.
That was a great commercial. I really enjoyed that.
Dude, I was so confused. I was so confused about why that was like what I was so confused like what it was supposed to be. I thought it was a Disney Plus commercial thing, but I didn't know Disney was in its 100th year, so I was so confused.
But like, yeah, that's like I think that kind of brought back some of the Disney magic to some people.
Like even myself, I was like I knew you would like it because you're a Disney hardo, but I was like, damn, that was a solid ass commercial.
Yep. Last one, the one that caused the most people to freak out. The Tubi channel change.
Oh my God, dude. I fucking yelled at my dad.
I didn't get tricked by that. I might have a little bit, but not too much.
Well, yeah, I feel like it would have been different if you were with people. My dad had the remote, and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? I was like, what the fuck are you doing? I was like, and he's just like, I didn't do anything. And I didn't realize it was a commercial. Yeah, dude, it was so dumb, but it was so good because they already knew what was going to happen. They knew how people were going to react.
Oh yeah, for sure. That was a stroke of marketing genius. That goes up there with the Coinbase one from last year, the bouncing box.
Well, yeah, they had one this year too. It was a freaking...
I scanned it and it didn't work.
I did. It worked for me. It was a freaking like collectible legends or something. Like it was some stupid
Raid
and that's what it felt like. I think it was something like that. And I felt like it was like some type of NFT thing. And I'm like, this is so dumb. Yeah, no, that one was so bad.
You got any others that stood out to you?
I mean, it was just weird seeing a lot of movie trailers. That's not normal by any means. I feel like not as much as they had. Like they have a couple, but there was a lot. Like they had the Air movie. They had Fast 10. I feel
Yeah.
like I'm missing
Oh,
one other
Indiana
one.
Jones.
Indiana Jones, yeah, that one too. I was just weird. I'm like, we're just watching a movie trailer.
Yeah.
The Flash too.
Yeah.
That one, yeah, that one was weird. Um, I don't know. The TurboTax dancer was so funny too. I really like that one in front of the fountains or whatever.
Oh, yep. Okay, now I remember what it was.
That one was pretty solid. I'm just trying to think. The Paramount Plus one was weird. I mean, I knew what it was, but it was just weird. Like the one with Sylvester Stallone. The Rakuten one was so unnecessary for me. It was pointless. I'm like, what is this? What type of Super Bowl commercial is this? Oh, the Crown Royal one I thought was just funny because the dude from Foo
Yeah, that
Fighters
one
is
was
not
pretty
even
good.
he's not even from Canada, which made it even funnier. Um, but it was good. Just like there's some of the I didn't even know half the shit that I didn't know what like some of that stuff was from Canada. Like apparently football was invented in Canada too. Didn't even know that. The Mick Ultra commercials were solid too. I like those ones. The one with Serena Williams, and then the one where they're looking at the trailer of Full Swings, which comes out tomorrow, and I'm very excited for.
Here's one. The work day ad where it had all the rock stars saying like, "Oh, you can't call your accountants rock stars," and they get all pissed about it. I like that one. That was pretty funny.
I don't really remember that one. Another one that I really liked was the Bush one. That was really solid. That was funny.
With Sarah McLaughlin.
If that's her name, yes. And then the normal
Yeah.
Bush
Do you
guy.
know what she does?
No, what does she do?
She's a singer, but she's also the person that is always the ASPCA lady.
What
So
is
that's
that?
why it had like that somber, like the save the animals type of deal. Like for like
Oh,
$10 a day, you could save these poor dogs that are
oh, I see. Yeah,
in
yep,
awful conditions. Yeah,
yeah.
that's why it started
That's
out
what
like
that.
sad, and then it got funny after
No,
that.
no. The Pete Davidson one was weird, dude. The T-Mobile one, I was cringing the whole time with Bradley Cooper. That one was
Yeah,
so
that one
cringy
was
with his
stupid.
mom.
That
That
seemed
one
like a
was,
normal, everyday commercial, not a Super Bowl ad.
and then the nostalgia of
And
the E
even
Trade
that, it's still a
babies.
stretch.
That was good.
Yep.
Pepsi Zero Sugar had two commercials. I was just like the one where it's like it's not act or it's great acting because it no sugar. And I was just like,
I
bruh.
kind of liked them.
And then I didn't know if did you know anything about the Miller Lite and Coors Light commercial with Thor?
I did not expect it to be a Blue Moon commercial.
Yeah, I mean there was the whole thing was is the people there was previews about it and they're like, oh, Miller Lite and Coors Light are gonna battle it out in the commercial, and I knew about it because they were talking about it on part of my take. And then that was it. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, Blue Moon does not strike me as a football beer by any means. So it's kind
No,
of,
it definitely
I was
doesn't.
like, oh, that's a weird placement, but it was a captivating commercial. I will say, I thought like the winner was gonna be like the prime, like the main character of the commercial there.
Yeah, and then you got the sad one, or I mean, there's some other ones, but like, which one did I mention? The Binky Dad was great, solid enough.
Oh, that was
Um,
annoying.
you didn't like that one?
No, it was stupid.
And then the Bud
You
Light
already knew the
commercial.
plot twist was coming. Oh,
Yeah,
he grabbed the wrong binky. Well,
yeah.
who calls him
I
a
mean,
binky anyways? It's a pacifier.
I've never called it. I mean, a passy, or I call it a binky. I don't know. I call it a binky. The Bud Light commercial, I've already seen it, but I mean, it's like it was pretty funny because, I mean, I don't know about you, but like sometimes like hold music goes really hard, so then you just like get all hyped while being on hold. Do you even know which one
I
I
don't
was
know
talking
what's
about? I'm talking about.
that.
It was with Miles
Bud
Teller
Light.
and his wife, and they were drinking Bud Light while dancing to hold music.
I don't think I saw that one.
Wow. Okay. And then obviously, I mean, to finish it off, the farmer's dog. That was just a sad commercial. It was sad, but it was like heartwarming. Do you know which one I'm talking about? The one where it was the dog growing up in years. I mean, the funny thing is I'm pretty sure the dog was like a puppy when she was really little, and then it just shows the dog being like 25 years old with them on a bed with a baby and like her husband. I'm like that. So we're just. I mean, it's a good ad to be like, oh, your dog's gonna live like 25 years if he has this this pet food. I just thought that was. I mean, it was like sad, but he didn't die, so it wasn't that bad.
It was unnecessarily sad.
Yeah, it definitely was. But I was just like, the dog's like 25 years old. Like, that's very unrealistic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Overall, good year for commercials.
It was a rebound. Like, it wasn't as good as like previous years, but it was a rebound. Like the last 3 years, like I think nothing stood out to me that was actually good. But this year there was definitely some ones that were pretty solid. But probably the best part, I mean, it was more tuned into than the Super Bowl itself, which is crazy. The halftime show, that was the best halftime show I've seen since Prince. And I don't think it's close.
That was a very, very good halftime show. A lot better than I thought it was going to be.
Oh, I agree. I mean, obviously I said some pretty stupid shit last week on why it wasn't going to be good. I also forgot how much bangers Rihanna had. Yeah. That's my bad. I haven't listened to her music in a while. I had forgot how much bangers she has. Like, every single one I knew. And I'm like, this is awesome. Like, and I liked how simplistic it was. Like, it wasn't like a fancy props and shit. Like, it was just elevating stages and
those
people in marshmallows. Yeah. I don't know if you know this, but the elevating stages in her outfit was a homage to Kanye.
I did not know that.
He did it at a performance once.
I guess now that I think about it, the red suit does look a little bit familiar, but I don't know about the floating stages.
I mean, I didn't see it until after, but I was like, that makes a lot of sense now. I mean, I was like confused why she was singing Kanye songs, but then like she only sang her part, so it wasn't as bad. I was fully expecting Kanye to come out because I thought there was gonna be some special guest, and there wasn't.
I was just waiting for it. Like Tom Holland. I was like, that does just not make any sense.
What?
I think I saw that somewhere.
Or like Jay-Z. I'm like, he could have came out. Like, those two were definitely the two that you would think to come out. But yeah, bro, and she did that like pregnant, bro. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And dude, was she harnessed in?
Yeah.
I couldn't tell. I mean, yeah, I thought so, but it was like you couldn't see it. I mean, the one dude almost fell off the stage too, like one of the backup dancers.
I like how everybody's freaking out about that, but I don't think they would let him die because he would have just been.
They had to be harnessed. Yeah, they had to have been.
Yeah, he would just been hanging off the edge for a little bit.
But that's crazy too. Like, she did that pregnant. She didn't even get paid for it either.
Yeah.
That's
she not? Wow.
No, there was I forgot to look it up, but there was some reason why she wasn't getting paid for it. But yeah, no, that it was just so good. I mean, it's hard to top Prince in the Rain, but that was so fucking good.
Yeah, she brought the energy a lot more than I thought she would. For some reason, I thought she was still pregnant from last year, so I wasn't surprised when that was revealed.
That was so funny. Yeah. She's like, yeah, she's doing May. And I'm like, I looked it up and it's like, Rihanna delivers kid May 2022.
I didn't see that 2022.
Good job.
I'm pretty sure it just said May for me. Or I didn't see it.
Yeah. And I just totally missed it. There was like a report that it was like, oh, yep, confirmed. Rihanna pregnant. And I'm like, I just didn't see that. So I was looking it up all morning. And then I finally saw it. But yeah, overall, great halftime show.
Yeah, the floating platforms were super cool. They shook a lot more than I thought they were going to, so that was kind of creepy to see. But yeah, great halftime show.
Yeah. All right, to finish off the episode, we're gonna go over our picks for the Super Bowl, and then Brandon actually is gonna tell you guys how much money you would have won. No, I'm kidding. He's just gonna say his record because he did way better than me. All right, let's go over our picks. Brandon, overall, was it a good Super Bowl for your bets?
Not for the prop bets, the extra prop bets, but for our normal 4, yes, that was a very good Super Bowl for me.
Nice. I actually improved, obviously. 2 for 3. 2 and 3 every week. Every week. 2 and 3 above improvement from 1 and 4. We both had the over. That was literally the easy. I said it was going to be the easiest thing. That should have been my in the bank because I don't know what I was thinking. I said it was going to be a track meet. It was. Travis Kelce barely even hit the over, which literally almost hit in the first half, and he barely even hit it. And then Jerick McKinnon, bro, he just let me down. Just absolutely let me down. He fucking got a 15-yard run. I'm like, bro, I literally said that on the pod. I'm like, wait, I watched him just rip off a 15-yard run to just break this, and he already had like 5 rushing yards at that point. And then Chris Stapleton, bro, you just sank so fucking fast. I don't know where you got that line, Brandon, from also, though, because that the line was at like 201, 202 at the start of the game.
Did he still go under that, or was he over that one?
I don't remember. I just know people were saying it was one of the closest bets for a national anthem in a while.
Well, also, we did have to find that on Tuesday, so that
is true.
Changed,
but it probably shifted. But yeah, we had a 208.5.
Yeah.
And it was at like it was like something like 201 or 202 at the start of the game.
Yeah. It's crazy that I made my prop bet, like my game prop, to be in Book It With Beef, the Gatorade color.
Yeah, I didn't understand that one at all.
When I literally spelled out almost exactly what happened with the first touchdown score, the only thing I got wrong on that was which direction Jalen Hurts was going to go in relationship to Jason Kelce. So
did he go left?
Yeah, he went left.
Wow, that's pretty impressive.
I saw something that was like maybe like you should ban pushing the quarterback in a QB sneak.
I think they are. I think they're going to.
Which, I mean, I'm fine with that. QB's got to have that leg power. Get it in there yourself.
I'm pretty sure they've already talked about it, that they're probably going to, because it's been a problem for a while. And like the one thing I think is what I've heard is like it's like players sometimes will get like even in the middle of the field where it's a stack up and like the offensive lineman will come pushing in and like players get hurt.
Yeah.
I mean, because like players really like realistically, a guy shouldn't go from like a 5-yard gain to a 12-yard gain after he gets stopped. But I mean, it is football. I mean, that's more of like a rugby thing. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I've seen that they're probably going to ban that. Yeah, I was so confused too why you put that in your thing. Because I was just like, that's such a tough thing. But like, did you see the freaking if you were at the game, you could have bet the freaking colors so easily. The Chiefs literally showed everyone what they were putting in the things. Did you see that?
Oh, did they? No, I did not.
There was a clip from a person that was on the sideline, or not on the sideline, but in the stands, like right next to the sidelines. It just shows them dumping in the purple powder into the jugs.
Were they all the same? Like
I don't know, but I don't remember. But there was just one jug they were just very evidently on the field. Like it wasn't like that early before the game either. It was like probably pregame warmups, and if not later, they're just casually dumping the purple powder into the jugs.
Because I feel like when the coach gets the Gatorade bat, there's also a little bit element of luck there that you grab the one that's closest to him. And I feel like if you got different flavors, then it all comes down to which one.
But don't you feel like the team would have a collective group where they just get one flavor to make it easier? Or do you think they have?
They might, but they're also an NFL team. They got money to waste on that type of stuff. So why not make everyone happy?
Yeah, I don't know. But I saw a clip of that, and I'm like, dude, imagine being at the game and you just like, and that was one of the higher odds too. It was like plus 900, plus 800.
Yeah, it was second to last according to Fox. They didn't even show it though on the broadcast.
I know. I literally had to look it up after the game because they never showed it. Because they're like, and then they show the clip to Andy Reid, and like it's like, how do you not show it? That's like one of the biggest bet on things. How do you not show it?
Quick side note: that Hail Mary was one of the worst I've ever seen. That was so depressing.
I forgot to say that like that one thing about Jalen Hurts was so impressive. He wasn't 100% healthy. He threw it from like the 55, maybe the 40 or the 45, maybe the 40. You're telling me he can only throw the ball 40 yards? Like healthy, fully healthy.
Yeah. I don't know.
No. He literally threw it to AJ Brown. Like in the second quarter or whatever, that one pass. He threw it like 40 yards, 50 yards down the field. It was bad, but I don't think he was healthy enough to where he can like I think he was probably just tired, fucking exhausted because he carried his team.
Yeah, that pass to AJ Brown cashed my bet of Jalen Hurts' longest pass over 36.5.
Dude, they were just like, someone was like, oh my God, that was a great pass. He threw it outside the numbers. Like, that was a fucking horrible pass. He threw it into double coverage, and that Trent McDuffie dude made one of the worst defensive adjustments I've ever seen. He like looked up and just stopped moving.
Yeah, it was awful.
And then later he threw in a double coverage to AJ Brown, and it almost got picked off. Like there was 2 times where he had threw in a double coverage, and one of them was a touchdown because Trent McDuffie made the worst in-air adjustment I've ever seen, and AJ Brown saw the ball. That was about it. And people were like, online, they're like, oh my God, that throw was so incredible. He threw him open. I'm like, are you fucking joking? That was an awful throw. He just didn't have anything he threw it probably as far as he could, so that's probably why it was a little off target. But either way, no, I agree. It was bad, but I know why it wasn't that good. Like, if he's fully healthy, he definitely can get that closer to the end zone.
I'd hope so.
And they were saying that he wasn't fully healthy still, even in this game. But I don't know. Overall, Brandon, okay, you said you had it. What did you go overall this season?
Overall, this season, I went 58, 41, and 3, 56.86% hit rate.
Very solid.
Yeah, 11, 7, and 1 for in the banks. So,
mine was fucking trash. That's all I'm gonna say. It was bad. The postseason, I went a solid 5 for 15. So that's about 25%. That's losing you a lot of money. And I'm pretty sure I would say it was about in the range of 35 to 40% of my bets in the regular season. And plus the in the banks were really bad, and that's like a double bet. So even worse. Yeah, no, bad, really bad year for me. Next year, I'm just hoping to make 50%. Honestly, like I'm such a bad bettor. Even though I've been hot IRL, not booking with beef recently, but yeah, no, I'm a horrible bettor. Me and Brandon will be taking a week off next week just because been going hot with football. Then we'll get into it with some different content, maybe some other sports, maybe a game day. We'll see.
Hopefully game day in 2 weeks. That's the hope.
All right. But yeah, definitely next week is going to be an off week, and then we're going to get into some different content. Probably won't talk football till closer to the draft or some free agency stuff. So definitely going to be the last of the football for probably looking like a month now. But it was fun. I'm sad. Monday was a bad day just in retrospect of everything that happened to me from the night before, but sad because football's over, and now I have to fill the void with hockey and basketball, and then I'm gonna be really sad when that's over. So but yeah, sad to see football go, but it was a pretty good season. Well, it's going to do it for us here at Certified Beef. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.
See you later.